Game face. Game face.
It's on.
What is up, Wise Take Nation? It's boy Brewmatic47 here as always. Welcome everyone to the PGA DFS Wise stream this week for the Honda Classic. I got it that time. I've been working on it. I got it right this time. The Honda Classic. I am joined by my main man, my number one PGA DFS BFF, Shockey. What is up, my brother?
Nothing much. Wish it went better last week for the main event, but it did not.
Yes. Well, I'm glad that we're done coordinating our outfits for the warm weather for this. So everyone will be in for a pleasant surprise for that.
Oh yeah.
So this week we have the Honda. We are done on the West Coast. Thanks to sweet baby Jesus.
No POA. Get rid of POA.
That nice, smooth, lovely Bermuda.
I hate POA grass.
Very excited.
No, kombucha rough or whatever it's called.
Yeah, whatever. Kombucha, whatever. So, so I'm excited. The Florida swing usually treats me pretty well, and this is all leading up to the Players. And then before we know it, we'll be in the Masters. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild.
You don't like the API?
Yeah, I like the API. I like the Arnold Palmer, but, the Players is coming up, so, come on. Last week for me sucked. Again, the first, 3 hours were going really well on Thursday, and then everything just fell apart. So, and that happens. Yeah, that's these no-cut events.
Did you play the alternate event at all?
No, not at all.
That's where I did way better, and I said I liked that event better than the WGC.
Yeah, I just didn't have time. I was just crazy. How'd you do last week?
Like I said, alternate event way better, but there's no contest, so didn't make anything at all because of that. I wish there was better contest, but they're never going to put up better contest for an alternate event.
Exactly. And right on cue, my kid is crying, so I got to go deal with her. If you want to start talking about the top there, or talk about the tournament a little bit, my man, go for it. I will be right back very shortly once I settle her down.
Yep.
And then I'll talk about the course. All right.
Okay.
All right.
I'll go through the past 5 winners of the Honda Classic. It's usually a low-scoring event. I had it up right here. Keith Mitchell won it last year with a 9 under. Oh, where'd it go? Just give me 1 second. I just had it pulled up. Damn, I lost it. I don't know why it's not pulling up now. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Keith Mitchell won it last year with a 9 under. Justin Thomas won it in 18 with an 8 under. Fowler 12 under. Scott 9 under. Patrick Harrington 6 under. So this is just don't bogey. It's key not to bogey here. The weather this week is going to be consistent with it's high 60s, low 70s. There's no rain in the forecast. At most 10% chance on Thursday, but nothing. Everything else is 0%. Consistent 10 to 15 miles per hour through Thursday through Sunday. So moderate winds, nothing crazy. Top 65 and ties will make the cut. Like you said, this is in Palms Beach Gardens, Florida.
I'm back.
Okay. I just went through the weather, past 5 winners and their scores, saying how it's not a high-scoring event.
It's going to be windy.
Moderate. That's moderate winds. That's not super windy. I call that moderate. Anything above, 20 is when it is windy for me. Super windy.
Fair enough. Maybe one day where it's up to 20, but the rest should be 10 to 15.
But those are gusts, but consistent, sustained 10 to 15.
So, all right. You want me to get into the course real quick?
Yep. Get the course breakdown real quick.
Sweet. Welcome everyone to the PGA National Champions Course, home of what has come to be known as the Hunt Massacre. A couple years ago, the winds here were crazy, and as a result, the cut line was +6. Shooting even par would have landed you within the top 20 for the week. It doesn't look like we're going to have that level of carnage this week, and we certainly did not last year. But this course is still an excellent test of skill for all 144 golfers that will be playing here. There's only been one player in recent memory shooting double digits under par. You have to be a grinder to do well here. This course is fucking hard and will beat even the best in the world. The Champions course is a 7,140-yard par 70 with 4 par 3s and 2 par 5s. It's not a terribly long course, but there is a ton of trouble here. The par 3s are 4 of the harder holes on the course, ranking numbers 5 through 8 in terms of hardest, with not a single hole averaging under par historically. All 4 of them present a decent chance at bogey. The 5s, on the other hand, are the 2 easiest holes in the course with a combined birdie or better around 40%. They keep the rough here super thick, and the greens are on the average, right around the usual size for the PGA Tour. There's water on just about every hole, with it serving as a main defense on about 15 of them. There are a shit ton of bunkers, and only 2 holes here have a birdie percentage over 20%. There'll be little to no eagles here, and if your book offers a hole-in-one prop, I would put my house on a no bet. The wind is looking to be, like we said, between 10 to 15, up to 20 gusts in terms of miles per hour. Moderate, something definitely to take into consideration, but nothing overly brutal. This is also home to one of the most brutal 3-hole stretches in the PGA, known as the Bear Trap. With this Florida swing comes our series of courses with like sections of holes that have nicknames. We have the Bear Trap, we have the Snake Pit. I think there's one that has like the Alligator's Coin Purse. I don't know. There's like, it's a thing in Florida. They just give holes like weird names. Anyways, the Bear Trap is holes 15 to 17 that feature 2 par 3s and a par 4. They're not particularly long. They're packed full of trouble and regularly play over par. If you can get through this 3-hole stretch shooting even par, you are in very, very good shape. From the tee box, golfers will see generally average-sized fairways. However, as is common with a Nicklaus design, the further you hit the ball, the tighter the fairways get. And you increase your chance of landing in one of the many fairway bunkers. If you're spraying it wildly, you'll get fucked by this rough pretty hard. Hitting fairways here, this being an average course, that's about length of feet. On approach into these greens, you'll find that while they are average size, they're actually very long and narrow. Giggity. Which makes hitting them very tricky. As far as greens and reg numbers here, they're well under tour average. We have Bermuda grass on the greens, which is a welcome sight for many. Nice and smooth Bermuda as opposed to the bumpy polo we've been dealing with. There are generally a shit ton of bunkers around these greens, and the greens themselves have tons of slope, false fronts, undulations. It's just, this course is just a bitch. It's a ton of fun to watch. Jockey, anything after that you want to add?
No, I like scrambling and driving accuracy is key.
Scrambling, sand saves.
Greens and regulation.
Yeah. Approach.
Yes. Yes, approach. And then add a little bit of short game in there as well.
Yeah, which is putting and around the green.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this is bogey avoid written all over it. This is not a birdie or better course. This is avoiding bogeys, grinding it out, hitting it in the fairway, hitting it on the green, making par.
Taking what the course gives you.
Exactly. A little ball striking, too. Ball striking is important. Yeah, sweet. All right. You want to
I also included the par 3s because they are harder. They're on this course. Even though they're not that long, they are harder. Especially the 15th, which is the start of the Bear Trap, which has water all along the right side.
Yeah.
Of that. So I just include that a little bit too, because they're the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th hardest holes.
Yes, absolutely. All right, my man.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope, that'll be it.
Sweet. All right, let's get into this 10K range. We only have 4 golfers this week. We used to have really, really strong fields here, and then with the change in the PGA Tour schedule, we've really seen the strength of this field just kind of drop off precipitously over the last couple of years. And this year is really no different, as evidenced by the fact that Tommy Fleetwood is the highest priced golfer on DraftKings, which is crazy.
So
let's get
deserving.
Deserving. It's fair. But Fleetwood at 11-6 down to Gary Woodland at 10-3 with Koepka and Fowler in between. What do you like, if anyone?
Yeah, I have Fleetwood up top. I probably build most of my main builds without these guys. I didn't love any of them for different reasons. I like them, but didn't love them. But I have Fleetwood. He's 6th in my model, but that's also indicative on last year because he's been playing a bunch on the Euro Tour to start it, where he's been playing fantastic with in his last 4 events there. He has a win, 2 second-place finishes, and a T11. Came T18th last week. Wasn't a great approach week for him. And in this wind, being a Euro Tour guy and all that, he is good in these wind conditions. And then I'll go with Rickie Fowler at 10-8. Rickie's not played well recently, but if you go from the past 24 rounds to the past 12 rounds, he goes from 80th to 25th in my model. With great history here of T2, cut, win, T6, and T41. Most total strokes gained in the field here in the last 5 years. At the Waste Management, he gained more strokes on approach and putting for the first time in 3 events. And he didn't play at the Genesis or the WGC. Maybe some time off will help his game. And I forgot to mention Fleetwood finished 4th in his only start here in the last 5 years, and that was in 18. So it was Fleetwood and Fowler for me.
It is Fowler. I'm with you on Fowler for exactly the same reasons. And then it's Woodland for me. No Fleetwood, no Koepka. Fleetwood just doesn't grade out highly enough in my model. The top-priced guy. He's good. I love Fleetwood. I love Fleetwood at majors. And maybe some of this is his Euro form that doesn't get factored into my model, which is a thing. But I'm more often to fade the top prize guy than to play him. That's just me personally, especially in this week of a field with not a lot down low. And then Koepka, it's not a major.
He's been playing. He didn't look good.
Yeah, he is 2nd in my model. I'm looking at the last 50 rounds too for my model. He is 2nd, but that goes way back. He hasn't been playing very well, so I'm off him.
That knee is still bothering him.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Fowler, everything you said and more. He loves this course, and it's a grinder's course. He doesn't have to hit it far. He just has to grind it out. Good scrambler. And then Woodland, 9th in my model. Cheapest 10K guy. I think he's viable in cash if you wanted to go there, if you wanted to pay up. Good history here. Made the cut each of the last 4 times he's played here. He's shown that he plays well in the wind. I mean, he won a major at Pebble Beach, which is tons of wind right on the coast. So I think he'll do fine in the wind here if it does pick up. Because again, it is Tuesday. The wind could drastically change between now and Thursday, Friday. So I like Woodland. It was a driving accuracy with him which was concerning. Yeah, I mean, his fairway number is low for sure, and his scrambling's not great either.
No, it's more of his approach, ball striking. He can hit greens, tee to green. It's just that's why he hasn't finished. He's only had 1 amazing finish here in the last 4 years because he can get sporadic at times with his driver.
Yeah. But he should be in good shape to make the cut, which is fine for cash.
Yeah.
I'll get into this 9K range. Top is Justin Rose at 99, down to EVR, Eric Van Rooyen at 9K. There's a lot I like in here because there's not a ton I like in the 10K range. I love Rose. Rose at 5th in my model. Euro guys traditionally do very well here. And Rose plays enough on the PGA Tour that I don't know if I'd consider him a true Euro guy, but his approach is great, ball striking is great, par 5 scoring is great. Definitely on board with Rose. He looks great in my mixed condition model. Hasn't really played here,
which hasn't played since 15,
and he missed the cut in 2015.
Correct.
But I think he goes. I don't think he carries a ton of ownership, and he's a very good golfer. So I'm on board with him. And then next up, I have Usti. Love Usti. I mean, I'm going to go down the list here. I like Rose. I like Usti. I like Hovland. I like Im. I like Horschel. And I think I'm going to be off Lowry and EVR. It's pretty much the bottom 2 guys in this 9K range. Usti, I love Usti and his silly gap-toothed face. Really good in my mixed condition model, which looks at windy, total strokes gained, windy courses, par 70s with average accuracy, putting on firm Bermuda, approach on windy less than 7,200 yards with thick rough, and off the tee, windy, average accuracy, less than 7,200 yards. He grades out super well. He's 4th overall. Hovland, he's 1st in my model. He won last week, so that's a little bit of a concern. I think he gets a little bit of a lower ownership because he won last week. I think a lot of people tend to fade people after they win. But I'm not 100% sure where I'm at with Hovland quite yet. I think it's going to be an ownership thing. If he's super chalky, I'm probably going to be off him. But I'm going to wait until I get a final look at ownership numbers when I write my article tomorrow. Im, I love. Im's always in play. He very well may be a cash play for me. He's just a grinder. He plays every week. He's an animal. He did okay here last year. And then Horschel. Horschel's definitely going to be a cash play for me. He's just, playing really well. He hasn't, T9 last week, T9 at the Waste Management. I think he's going to be incredibly chalky. Everything that I'm hearing sounds like he's going to be super chalky. He's putting really well. Decent history here. Missed the cut in 18, but other than that, and in 15, but other than that, everything is good. 18 for my model, so I love Horschel, and that's a 9K range for me. How about you? Where are you at?
Yeah, obviously Victor Hovland. I always love Victor Hovland, especially since he put 4 solid rounds of golf together last week. An amazing, elite ball striker, elite approach, great driver accuracy, tee to green, and if he can putt, if it's all about his putting and around the green. That's where he has troubles too. Once he getting there, it's not the problem. It's just what he does around it and in it. But even though you don't have strokes gain stats from last week, he didn't have one blow up round or anything. I definitely number 1 in the 9K range. I just always play Hovland with how good his irons and driver is. Then I also have Horschel. Gain strokes on approach and tee to green and putting in back-to-back events. Finally, 2 top 10 finishes in a row. With last week of T9 and T9 at Waste Management. He's a good moderate win player too. And he's a great putter. In the last 12 rounds on Bermuda, he's 5th in putting, and his history is 16th last year, cut, 4th, 8th, cut. So high upside and definitely a bust, but he's coming in with some good definitely some great recent form. Then I'm still on Van Rooyen. I was on him last week, more expensive, but he's played at these when he plays on the PGA Tour, it's usually the majors and these WGCs, and with the data there, he plays well at the majors and all that, and some of those courses are hard as well. And he's a good win player for being a Euro Tour guy, and he just did amazing last week. Now that could be an anomaly traveling from Mexico to here, but I still love him. I mean,
never played here.
Never played here. A bunch of guys haven't, that I'm going to say, but doesn't mean you can't do well. Wyndham Clark never played here, and he came T7th last year.
Variant.
See?
Variant.
And I'll go off talent. I think he's talented. The reason I'm off Justin Rose is because, unless something dramatically changes, he's just been, in these 2 events this year, he's been poor, very poor. And I want to see something change for him. Louis was close. Sanjay M, he just hasn't shown me the upside for GPPs. He makes the cuts, but
he's cash, he's definitely cash.
Yeah. It's just he's always seemingly more higher. He's always got that ownership to him. He's never under 10%. And with a guy that I need to see a top 10 or something out of him before I can play him, especially on a harder course where he in his putting, he's putted better on Bermuda, but I need to see a top 10 out of him this year before I can play him at 9,300. And yeah, so it was just Hovland, Horschel, and Van Rooyen.
Sweet. Take us into the 8K, where I'm sure you love Daniel Berger.
I do love Daniel Berger. How'd you know? I've been playing Daniel Berger every time.
I love him too, so I'm with you.
How can you not? He's playing fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't like.
And it should be windy.
Yep. And what is he? A good win player. History here isn't all that great, but he hasn't played this great in the last 5 years coming into this event, as well as he has played. He's 4th in my model, 9th at the Waste Management, 5th at the Pro-Am. Has gained strokes tee to green in 4 straight events, with 3 of them being 4.4 strokes or better. Has gained strokes on approach in 3 of his last 4 events. Gained strokes in putting in back-to-back events. His best finish in the last 5 years was 2nd, but that was also 2015. But I like him. I like him this week for 8,900. I'll keep liking him till he shows me I can't like him. And then I don't know about him, but I have JT Poston.
Yeah.
Yep. Not high in my model. He's made the last 3 cuts. Nothing amazing or anything like that. He's played this event kind of like his last 3 events, T37 twice, and then T30th at the Genesis, which was up. That's good for. He's not like a amazing player or anything like that, but that course was always plays super hard. 36 and a 27th. But he's been gaining 3 straight events of gaining on approach. He hasn't lost strokes in putting since October. And throughout his career, he's played better on these harder courses and moderate wind conditions. Then I'll go to Corey Connors, not because of his putting. You never played Corey Connors because of putting. That's for sure.
He's Keegan Bradley light.
Yeah. He's better than Keegan Bradley. He can at least make some putts. Keegan Bradley couldn't make a 5-footer. Lately, but he's only played this event once in the last 5 years. 59 finish. He ranks 13th in my model. He's number 1 in greens and regulations in the last 24 rounds. Along with top 10 in ball striking, approach, off the tee, and tee to green. If he can just hit, if it's an even cut again, he should make it. Because if he can just hit every single green in regulation and don't 3-putt, you're fine. And he'll eventually make 1 putt. Or if he just drains things from 50, 80, 175 yards out, that wouldn't be a problem either. But just an accurate iron player, driver lately is why I love him. And then some people get lucky on putting. I mean, it's not It's not POA. It's not POA. So it's easier to get lucky on non-POA greens.
True. Very true.
And then I go with Luke List again.
Ugh.
2 times in a row. Oh, wait, what did Luke List do last time I mentioned him? Yes, he was way cheaper, but he finished at the Genesis in 30th, and he was like 6,600.
And that's fine. That's perfect for Luke List. 8K Luke List.
I know. It made me nervous, but he's shown improvement from when I was playing him last year. I don't know if I can do it 2 times in a row. I'll need better in T30th, like a top 25, which he has done here. Cut last year, but that was he had a terrible year last year. A second, 52nd, and 17 in the top 10. T10th. He has never been a good putter at all. He's kind of like Corey Connors.
Ever.
No, never in his career, ever. Never been a good putter, but he stays around. I mean, he came second place, and he's not a good putter. But he has gained strokes in putting in his last 3 events. Right? The hot Luke List putter. Maybe
the hot Luke List putter. Yeah.
It doesn't last long, so I don't know. Maybe, hopefully 4 times in a row. But T30th, T25th, T36, 3 straight cuts. Not like a guy I'm going to be smashing in there, but a filler if you need a low 8K guy and want to get different somewhere. People don't usually play Luke List anyways.
True, for good reason.
Good reason. Shown upside. Upside, low owned. If you need a filler spot, like you want to get, you already have so much of like an 82, 81, 79. You want to get a little mix in. I don't recommend Luke List.
If you're gonna talk about upside, you might as well talk about downside as well.
But that's GPP, a risk reward.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's shown the upside here, and he's played well recently, which I like.
Yeah. So I'm with you on Berger, with you on Poston, with you on Connors.
Yes.
I'm not going to go in depth on those guys because I agree with you. Everything you said and more. I love Neiman. He's been terrible off the tee, but the rest of his game is there and awesome. So if he can just club down, maybe hit some irons off the tee this week because it's a little shorter course, I think he can do well. He's 6th in my model. Love Neiman. Poston, he's very much a cash play for everything you said and more. And then Griot. Griot's going to be my Luke List for you this week. He's terrible with his putter.
Yep.
And scrambling. Terrible. But his off the tee is there. His approach is there. He's first in this field in the last 50 rounds. Strokes gained approach. So if he can just putt decently well,
which is -1 stroke gain, that's decently well for Grillo.
Yes. Yeah, he'll hit the green in like 2, and then if he can 2-putt all week, I'm good at 8K.
You eventually make 1.
Yeah, eventually, right? So Griot, he's risky. He's a GPP play, but if he can just putt decently well, he has upside. And that's where I'm at, Griot. I will get into the 7K range. I'm going to start off with Streelman.
Oh, thank God.
13th in my model. Putting is scrambling is but the rest of the game is really good. Ball striking is awesome. Approach is awesome. Good off the tee, good on par 5s. So, I'll be on board with Streelman. In the last 4 rounds, he'd be first in my model, and in the last 8 rounds, he'd be first in my model. So he is moving in the right direction. Harris English. Love me some English this week. We talked about him a little bit earlier in the year, but he's 5th in my mixed condition model. Good greens and reg, good on approach, good ball striker, good putter, really good putter. So, definitely love English this week. HV3, Harold Varner III. He caught a little fire. He's in the groove right now. He's just a great guy. Good with his irons, good greens and reg, good on par 5s. So, and he can score. Definitely like Harold Varner the third. Russell Knox, 8th in my GPP model. Might be a cash play for me. Kind of trending in the wrong direction, though, with his stats. But, I mean, he's still really good on approach. Where'd he go? Good ball striker, good scrambling. There's going to be a ton of this week. Definitely on board with Knox. Harry Higgs. I'm going to play a little Harry Higgs this week. He's another Corn Ferry Tour graduate who's been playing really, really well. This should be his first time here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, sure is. But, he's playing really well. He's seeing all these courses for the first time, and he's been performing well for 7,300. If he makes the cut, I'm happy. Going down the list here, we have Brian Harman, 22nd in my GPP model. Really bad at hitting greens, but really good on approach, which is very weird. Good at bogey avoidance, good at 3-putt avoidance, good at birdie record, good scrambler, good ball striker. I'll definitely have a decent clip of Brian Harman this week. I'm going to save Matthew Smith for you because I know you love him.
I love Matthew.
I'm going to go down to 7,100 for Jim Furyk. My man, Old Man Furyk, 14th in my GPP model, first in fairways game, first in this field in accuracy off the tee, second in greens and regulation, second in approach. Good ball striker, decent. He doesn't need to hit the ball a mile to do well here. He just needs to grind. Jim Furyk is a grinder. He very well may be a cash play for me this week. Check out my article tomorrow for my final list of cash plays. But I'm a Jim Furyk mark, and I'll be on him this week. And then finally in the 7K range, I have Cameron Tringale. 11th in my model. Really pretty terrible off the tee. Hitting fairways. Really good greens and good striker. So yeah, I mean, as long as he can, again, clubbing down, it's gonna improve. Even hitting 3 woods or iron. Your typing is throwing me out.
Oh, sorry. You're blinking in and out. You're blinking in and out, too.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it's just me, but I
think it's that Detroit Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
Yeah, I'm sure CK would have said something if I was messed up.
Yeah.
11th in my model. I love Tringale. He might be a cash play for me as well. He's been playing pretty well. Let's see down here. 3 out of the last 4 made cuts. History here is decent. He's made 3 of the last 5 cuts. Mixed condition model. He is not terribly great, but I still believe in him. I think he's playing really well. His rolling report model, he's moving in the right direction. So yeah, I'll be on Tringale, and that's 7K range for me at this time.
I have 2 of the same, Varner and Furyk. I like those guys, so I won't go too much into them after you. And I'll just say that Varner, yeah, and I want to say, yeah, his approach, it's always been there. He's always been a good irons guy, and his putter can be inconsistent, but I mean, 3 of the last 5 events he's recorded strokes gained putting. So, and then Furyk, I looked through because he's only played 2 events this year, where he missed a cut both times, but he gained strokes on approach both times, and knocking some of the rust off and all that coming into here, which he's played well at for cheap. I like him. And then my number 1 guy is Matthew Smith in the 7K at 7,200. I mean, he's just been playing phenomenal. He came T6 at the Puerto Rico Open. Easier field, yes, but still played really well. He hasn't missed a cut since October. He has 3 top 25 finishes in his last 6 events. Gained strokes putting in 6 straight recorded events. Gained strokes on approach in 4 of his last 5 events. In those 3 top 25 finishes, he gained over 4 strokes tee to green in all of them. And I'm just going to keep riding him until he fails, especially at 7,200 for how well he's been playing his irons and everything from tee to green. And then I go Harry Varner, Jim Furyk. Then I'll go to Sam Burns. Played here last 2 years with a T8th and a T73rd last year. The difference between last year and this year, though, he's been playing way better coming up into this event than last year. He's gained strokes in 4 straight events in tee to green, off the tee, and approach. Has gained strokes putting in 2 of those 4 events. Bermuda has been his best putting surface. He's made 3 of his last 5 cuts with a top 10 and a T23 at the Genesis. So for being cheap and playing solid golf, I like Sam Burns at 7,100. Then I'll go back again to Maverick Mcneely, who just like all these younger-ish guys that don't have much PGA Tour experience, they just been playing really solid golf. In his last 3 events, he has a 15th and a T5th, and he finished T27th last week at the Puerto Rico Open. Didn't play terrible, just didn't play amazing. In his last 3 recorded events previous to that, he gained strokes in approach and tee to green at all 3 times. Gained strokes putting in back-to-back events very well with 3.9 and 5.1 strokes gained putting, and has gained strokes off the tee in 2 of his last 3 events. Not a great accurate. He's not been an accurate driver, but he's 9th in scrambling over the last 12 rounds. Just to make sure. Yeah, 9th in scrambling over the last 12 rounds. 49th off the tee. Just hasn't hit a lot of fairways, but he's got out of trouble. And then I'll go with Harris English. You say Harris English? You said Harry Higgs.
No, I said both. I said both of them.
Oh, did you? Okay, then we'll go to English. Yeah, I like English. Good putter. He's no red numbers, and he's in the last 12 rounds. He's 4th in greens and regulations. He's also played better on these harder courses. Then I'll go with Doc Redman. Kind of as a cheaper. It's basically a cheaper Corey Connors. A $1,200 cheaper Corey Connors. He's a great iron guy, great driver, great tee to green guy, 5th tee to green, 11th in approach, 12th in fairways gained in the last 12 rounds. He can't putt, but in the last 12 rounds on Bermuda lately, he's 44th in putting. So for above average for a $7,000 guy on the greens, I'll take it. He's been making cuts as well. So if he can get one good putting week, Doc Redman could crack the top 30 at 7,000.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about his putting. Yeah.
I don't know if you heard me. I said it's a $1,200 cheaper Corey Connors.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
They're basically the same thing. They just
agreeable with that.
Yeah. I'll take it into the 6K range and
take us.
I don't know if you mentioned it like we met like it was a couple weeks ago whenever he played last, but it's Tom Hoge.
Hoagie.
Yeah, he's just playing well.
Yeah.
He's missed a cut the last 2 years here. Just like who I said before. But I'm throwing it aside because he also hasn't played this. He's been playing amazing. If you look at previous times, he's missed cuts, everything. His last 5 events, 2 top 10s, 2 top 25s, 12th in putting. And he's been the 4th best approach guy in the last 12 rounds, 12th best tee to green. Not an amazing win player, 6,900. I just need you to make the cut. And he's showing upside. Make the cut, showing upside with how well. And it's not like it's super windy. It's not Open Championship windy. It's not the Pro-Am Sunday windy. It's nothing like that. But it's just play decent to win. And I'll go with Nick Watney at 6,900 as well.
Yep.
For the last 5 years. Good history. Easily good enough for 6,900. 41, 14th, 33rd, 51. Missed 3 straight cuts. I still like him. it's because he sucks at POA. He can't putt on POA, which has been the last 3 events he's played in. In the last 12 on Bermuda, though, he's 42nd in putting. In the last 12 rounds, he's been the 8th best iron player, 16th best in greens and regulations. Struggled with his driver in the last 2 events, but that's usually not him all the time. He just has to make the cut for 6,900. He's done it for the past 4 times he's played here. And then I'll keep riding 3 weeks in a row. I'm gonna do him again. That's not weird. I'm gonna play him again. Yeah, I'm gonna do him again. That sounded. I knew where I said it. Joseph Bramlett, going right back to him. T9th last week at the Puerto Rico Open, and again just need to make the cut. And he didn't do great at the Genesis. Had 2 decent rounds, 2 bad rounds, but he didn't have like a blow up round. Like he outplayed Justin Thomas. He outplayed Tiger Woods. It's not the same thing every week, but I still like Joseph Bramlett and his comeback to the PGA Tour at 6,700.
Tiger Woods light like 27 years ago.
Yeah, it was only 10 years ago. Decade challenge. Tim Wilkinson at 6,600. You have him?
I don't think I have him. No, I do not have him.
Last time he played here was 15, where he finished T51 in the last 5 years. He's gained strokes on tee to green in 5 straight events, gained strokes on approach in 4 of his last 5, gained strokes off the tee in 4 straight events, 4 of his last cuts made with 3 top 25s, 16th best tee to green player in the last 12, and 32nd best ball striker, 30 best approach guy, 48th in putting, 6,600. Guy that's been making cuts, been playing solid golf. Why not? And then I'll go with last guy at 6,700, Chase Seifert. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't hear his name that often.
Yeah, one of those. One of those is probably right.
Hasn't played in the last 5 years here or ever, I think. Hasn't missed a cuts. He hasn't missed a cut since October. Best finish, his only best finish was T21 at American Express, but in his last 12 rounds, he's only been bad at scrambling, like really, and only red numbers is scrambling. Top 30 ball striker, putting and approach. Recent form and decent all-around numbers. He should make the cut, and that's all I need out of him at 6,700. And that is it. So is
all right.
Hoge, Watney, Bramlett, Wilkinson, Seifert.
Right. So I'm with you on Watney. Yeah, I'm with you on Watney. I'm with you on Hoagie. Hoagies and grinders. Navy beans.
No.
I like Norlander pops in my model, which worries me because he hasn't been doing that well. 15 my model in the last 50 rounds. 25th, 18th, 9th Sony, 5th going back to the RSM. There's a chance he's good off the tee, good at hitting greens, good on approach. There's a chance he could do well here, really good on par 5s. Rolling down here, let's see who pops. Percy, 7th in my GPP model.
I looked at him so hard.
Not terribly great off the tee, but really good greens and reg, really good on approach, really good DK scorer, good ball striker. 6,500 again, just make the cut, and I am happy. Next we have DJ Trahan, 6,500, 25th GPP model. His worst thing is scrambling, but again, good greens and reg, good on approach, good par 5. Everything else is all the rest of his numbers are solid. And I think that's really going to do it for me down here. There's not a lot that I like down here, which is why I'm kind of staying out of the 10K range. Living more in the 9K, lower 10K range, I think. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I don't really have anything negative to say about anyone else that you like, but that's just personally where I'm at. So, what do you think for this week? Your top 3 value plays there, Mr. Shockey? What do you like?
Smith, 7,200.
All right.
Obviously. I'll let you have him. I'll go with I'll take Hoji. I'll let you have. I'm assuming you'll say Furyk, so I'll take Hoji. Hoji at 69, and it's hard to choose between these low 7s and high 6s because they're all so close for me. I'll say Wilkinson at 6,600 for GPP value play for how well he's been doing.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna do Furyk. I'm gonna do Tringale. And I think what?
No, my roommate comes in with a Red Wings jersey, starts cheering, and I just give him a thumbs down.
Nice. And I think I'm gonna do Percy, 6,500. I think I'm gonna play him. So that's gonna do it for me. Do you have anything else you want to throw out there, Shockey? Anything else you like or want to add? While I tell everyone to click the like button and give us a follow and click on that notification bell so that you guys always get notified when we are going live throughout the day.
Oh, yeah, this is something. Bama Texan was in here. He's in the NASCAR show. He's in for the golf show. I like him.
Nice.
Bama Texan.
Nice.
Always coming around. Shout out to him.
Fantastic. All right, nation. So that's going to do it for us this week. Look for our articles dropping tomorrow. I'll have my cash article. Shockey will have his GPP article, and we will break it all down for you guys. So if you're not a part of the nation, you're watching this for free, by all means, hit us up. Buy that day pass. Check out our stuff before the tournament starts early as fuck Thursday morning. Get your lineups in Wednesday night, and we will catch you in the Slack chat, everyone. Shoot us an @ if you need us for anything. For Shockey, at Clint Petrakis.
You know it's wrong.
On Twitter, and Brewmedic47. Thank you all, nation, for tuning in. We'll catch you guys later. Good luck, and peace out.